Oh man, Tony's channel is just the gift that keeps on giving. So, some of the trolls are coming over to my video trying to talk some shit. You're trying to white knight for another dude? Come on now. First of all, I don't even think Tony is upset with the comment that I left on his video. I, to be perfectly honest with you, I trolled Tony in the most polite way possible. We didn't even fight about anything. Nobody called each other any names. You know, it was what it was. Uh, this guy, though, coming over here, Philly Fan 5, I don't know if you're just looking for your 5 minutes of fame, but here, I'll give you at least a minute of it. Uh, tries to make up this shit that, I'm trying to make an optical illusion with my camera, moving it in front of a red dot. No, dude, your red dot in your manual will tell you that there is parallax on your red dot, and the one red dot that I was using is parallax free after 50 yards. So that's all I was showing. I mean, it's literally in the manual of the red dot. It will tell you that yes, there is parallax up to like 50 yards, and then after that it's parallax free. So like, we're really just arguing schematics here, okay? Is that parallax worth it to you? For some people, they're not going to care about half an inch or an inch, and other people, they are going to care about it. That's really not the point. The real point of all of this was, and honestly, my argument to Tony's video was greatly overlooked. Tony was pretty much calling people a dumbass for supersighting their irons and their red dot. Um, that's really what the whole argument was about. And then we just got stuck in the schematics of it. And honestly, because I was trolling his video, I didn't really care. I was like, I'll argue anything with you because I can tell you're a combative dude, and I know that if I create any opposition to what you're saying at all, you'll probably make a video about me. And Tony did. He made a video about me, and then I made a video back, and we got to go back and forth. And honestly, between two YouTubers, that's great, right? Tony got paid for literally arguing with me. He made at least 25 bucks, probably more than that. Dude has over 100,000 subs, which, by the way, congratulations, Tony. I saw that you reached that milestone. And on the other side of that, you helped me get some new subs too. There are people that came over to my channel and said that I argued a few good points, and I got some new subs out of it, which is really all that I really kind of wanted. But the biggest thing that was overlooked is I did mention that a lot of people have been training with iron sights for 20, 30, 40 years. And when they draw their gun, that is the natural position that they are going to draw their gun to their face. Now you add a red dot into that and you say, okay, well, you can tilt your gun at a different angle now and you can still shoot it if your red dot is in the center of your screen. So you don't have to line it up with your irons anymore. Does it really surprise you that a lot of people are still going to draw their gun like they have been for the past 20, 30, 40 years and lining it up with their face? Because that's just muscle memory. I don't think you should call people a dumbass for the muscle memory that they have developed over the past decade. And just think about how much money and time it would take to unlearn that, right? People that have been shooting for a long time with irons, that's the way that they shoot. So how long are you going to have to go back to the range, and how much ammo are you going to have to run to unlearn that muscle memory? And that was pretty much a big part of my argument that completely got overlooked. And I was just like, whatever at that point. Sure, I'll argue schematics with you. I was wrong about my dot moving 3 inches because I was looking at it and kind of guesstimating it. It was actually like 2.5 or 2.25, something like that. Either way, like, this guy wants to come out of the woodworks and be like, I was twisting my camera and making an optical illusion. No, dude, I wasn't. I can show you in the manual where it says there is parallax for the dot up to 50 yards. And Tony was showing off a dot that had parallax forgiveness after 15 to 25 yards. That's completely different than 50 yards. So obviously his dot would move around a little bit less at close range than the dot that I was showing. And that's just kind of what we ended up arguing out. I made some measurements and I made a video saying, yes, I was wrong about the 3 inches. You know, it is what it is. I honestly think I trolled Tony in the most polite way possible, right? All I had to do was find something to argue with him. He made a video clapping back. I got to make a video back, and you know, people get to come over to our channels and watch us politely argue it out. Somebody actually left me a comment that they appreciate how polite the whole exchange was. And honestly, I think that's good, because there is just way too many gun bullies in our community. I personally I'm not here to be a bully. I'm not here to tell people that they are a dumbass for holding a gun a certain way or looking through their optics a certain way. Me telling you how to shoot your gun is me telling you how to fuck. Okay? Like, there's absolutely no reason that, you know, I should be telling you that. Now, I can make suggestions. I can tell you to try this or try that. But ultimately, my stance on it is everybody needs to find what actually works for them. We all have different eyes. We all have different hands. We all have different personalities. We all have different guns, and we all have different ammo. We all have different optics. Just find what works for you. And personally, I'm not in a place where I'm going to call people dumbasses because they do something a little bit different than me. I might try to understand and see where they're coming from, but I'm not just gonna attack them. So that's just my way of looking at it. Again, I was as polite as I possibly could have been about this, but of course there's gonna be some trolls that come over. Some guy told me that he can tell that by how I shoot my gun and how I handle my recoil, that's why I must really suck with a red dot. So that was kind of funny to me. So I am handicapped. I have one working arm. So this dude's talking shit about how I'm shooting my gun, doesn't even realize that I have a bullet in my left arm and I have a hand that only works halfway. So I'm pretty much just shooting a gun one-handed. My left hand is there pretty much just for looks. It hardly gives me any support. So that's just kind of funny. But hey, these people are going through my channel looking at my vids. Now, what was funny about this dude, Philly Fan 05, what did he say? He said, let's see. That's a big part of your channel. Calling out people that you think that they are doing wrong, but really they ain't. Bro, I've never called anybody else out. Like, come on, man. Like, at least give my channel credit for what it is. Like, I earned all my subs fair and square. I don't go around calling people out on shit. The Sure Shot Tony video was the first time that I've done something like this. And again, I trolled Tony in the most polite way possible, right? You know, no feelings were hurt. I'm pretty sure after the first day, Tony himself even knew what I was doing. And I mean, whatever. The guy made some money sitting there arguing with me. No feelings were hurt. If anything, I helped his video, right? And in return, I got some subs out of it as well. But I'm just waiting for this dude to give me some examples here of other people that I have called out, because I haven't done any of that. Like, that's not what this channel is all about. It is what it is. So, Philly Fan 5, here's, you know, I can't give you your 5 minutes of fame, but I can give you a minute of it. I hope you enjoyed. Your arguments are really coming from a crap place, though, dude. You are over here trying to white knight for another man. I don't know if you think that, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you think you're gonna do a collaboration with Tony or something like that, but, you know, it is what it is. Maybe you are a simp sub that likes to be called a dumbass and likes to be dominated, and I mean, you're upset that anybody challenged Big Papa Tony. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know where you're coming from, but his whole comment here was saying that, is pretty much saying that I made an optical illusion. I'm turning my wrist left and right, and Tony's wrist didn't turn. It just went left, right, up, and down. I can assure everybody I mounted the pistol to a vise. Okay, I was not turning anything. I had to get my camera to focus on the optic the best I could, and once it was focused, like my arm was locked in, I was moving left and right and left and right. I wasn't turning anything. I'm pretty sure if I did turn my wrist, I wouldn't have been able to make the video because my camera would have just focused onto something else. So there was no tricks there. There's no sorcery, right? The dot moved just like the manual says that it would, because it's not parallax free till like 50 feet, or I'm sorry, 50 yards. You know, if it was 50 feet, that'd be a lot better. Either way, I just think this is funny. You know, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. I get some traffic every day now because of that video. And hey, my comment over there has like 250 likes. So that's cool. I at least got some support on Tony's video. And I think the reason there's 250 likes there is because those are probably 250 people that have actually zeroed their dot with a bore laser. And in the process of doing so, they can tell how their dot actually moves around the bore laser. There is parallax, especially for close range. Now, if you go buy a $1,000 dot, if you go get your EOTech, it's probably parallax free after like 10 yards or something like that. I guess that's what you're paying for with those red dots. Either way, like, we can argue that all day. That's just a schematic, right? What we really can't argue, in my opinion, is calling people dumbasses because they've been shooting a certain way for 20, 30, 40 years. At the same time, I do agree with Tony that people should know what a red dot can do, right? And pretty much what I mean by that is you can now look through your optic at a different angle without lining your irons up, and you can still take a very accurate shot. So what does that mean? That means if I'm aiming my gun and a bad guy pops out and I tilt my gun a little bit and I can get that dot to line up with the bad guy, I should go ahead and take my shot before that bad guy gets behind cover. I still have a high probability of hitting with it instead of actually, you know, completely changing my stance and realigning with the gun. It does let you shoot targets faster, right? Are you adding a little bit of parallax to that? Yes, you are. And, you know, in most cases, I think, yeah, you're adding a ½ inch of parallax. That's better than not getting to take a shot at all, right? But when you're talking about actually drawing your gun and getting behind it, you got to remember that a lot of people already have muscle memory trained to get behind their gun a certain way. And for me, I don't think it's fair to call anybody a dumbass just because that's how they've been shooting for the past 40 years. Now, I could be wrong here, you know, and I said we take different approaches to this, right? I mean, that's totally Tony's thing, right? If he wants to talk down to his subs and call them dumbasses, hey, man, a lot of them seem to like that. Like, Tony's comment section has a lot of, yes, daddy. Call me a dumbass some more, please. So, I mean, maybe the dude's, like, found his niche audience. There's over 100,000 of them. So Tony's got to be doing something right. I mean, I got no hate, honestly. You know, I just was trying to get a few more subs for my channel. And this is something that YouTubers do. If we can find something to make content over, that's what we're going to do. And a lot of people don't understand this. Philly Fan 5 here, I'm sure someday he'll figure out how YouTube works and maybe he'll get an idea of why I did this. But it's just kind of funny to me, some of the low IQ comments I've gotten over that stuff, that they just don't even understand what the video is about. It's like, Tony can use any kind of laser that he wants. Yeah, bro, that was never part of the argument. Like, do you even understand what we're even arguing here? Anyway, just wanted to share this. It's kind of funny. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Every day I wake up to another ass clown trying to call me out in white knight for another man. It's pretty hilarious, especially coming from the gun community.